Sessions at sunrise, a way to begin every morning. Most mornings, I'm up to see the sun, and I'm used to thinking and feeling in words. I wonder what will animate me today, or what will go away. I find myself in the realm of a hope dealer. I have no suit to put on, just learning to be me, not fancy, just a little clear. Am I doing all I can to preserve great leaders? Save geniuses? Am I doing all I can to bring great parents to children, great leaders to organizations? I ask myself this every morning. I ask the emerging sunrise to release me from shunning the mystery as the day unfolds, and the world does not have to be beautiful to work, but it is. So let's meet it where it is, pay close attention to things, and see possibilities. Welcome to Sessions at Sunrise. This is John Davidson, and thank you for listening to this podcast. The Sessions at Sunrise I created out of a journey that I started 4 years ago, creating a book called The Catalyst with 85 poems and essays and writings to show appreciation and love for my 3 children. And out of that, I love the early morning, and that every morning I love to watch the sunrise. And as I do, I find myself with a great start, filled in a certain way to enter the day. And I remember walking out of my home to go to work, and it was almost light, right? It's that time, that sort of twinkling time when the stars are still hung in the sky, and you're about to cross over into the beginning of the day, but there's still that sort of, the night is coming to the end. There's a certain gateway, I think, that we cross from that moment of the dawn, and then it enters the day. And there's a certain initiation that comes with that. So I took inspiration in the following. One morning, to the cold, clean air, I wonder if I'll ever get to the stars I see in their time. I await the expanse of the blue sky entering like warm bath water. The church bells of the plaza travel to find the way to every corner. If I were singing like they are, I'd be in heaven. Earth has all sides to offer. One morning, to the cold, clean air, I wonder if I'll ever get to the stars I see in their time. I await the expanse of the blue sky entering like warm bath water. The church bells of the plaza travel to find the way to every corner. If I were singing like they are, I'd be in heaven. Earth has all sides to offer. There's an irrefutable truth to entering the day from a place that's so honest that we come to terms with how powerless we really are. And it's almost too honest. It's so honest to ourselves that I think it actually triggers our nervous system to pretend that we can control the future and make predictions about the future. And so we play a little game with ourselves without looking. It's like we turn our backs on the real truth so that we can survive it. And there's a quality of forsaking possibilities when we do this. And I like to think that I am part in an actor in giving myself the possibilities without disturbing them. So what does that mean? Well, there's a certain quality of kind of cultivation. There's a reality check, a check-in with myself, that as I enter the day, I tell myself to be ready for anything and expecting nothing. And this is a quality of, I think, warriorship. This is a quality of showing up and being present. And as I stand in the place of that, as I show up to that, I courageously remind myself that I don't have to like whatever comes in, the wild card of life, whatever plays out. It's not about liking it, because that would be pretending. Fundamentally, I want to be true to myself when I come into the day. I'm saying to self, look, I have the ability to report what's going on, including what's going on in my inner life. So it brings me to say that maybe the very first place to start is to start from being a human with all of our imperfections. And that it's not about how we try to control or manipulate what's coming up, but rather a certain surrender, a way of submitting ourselves to a learning to let go, a quality of effortlessness, a way of moving our listening over to what's there. I also often remind myself at this moment that I am a soulful person, and that there is something in me that has the capacity to mindfully observe whatever subject matter arises. It's quite a remembrance, because to me, one of the biggest dangers we have is sleepwalking, is not being awake, walking through the moments, skimming, and not opening ourselves to the possibilities. Embracing irrelevance. We might meet something extraordinary in a moment that, because our judgment is active, we ignore it. Or because we're operating from the past, we're simply looking through the filters, the slides that we project on the wall from what we already know. Our memories distort and put dirt on our window. So, as I say this to you, you probably wonder, how does one hold themselves through all these trials and tribulations and ups and downs and the geometry of life? How do I stay and abide to living there? What's the skillful means? How do I have the stability to weather whatever arises? How do I take life in like that? Do I have to change my attitude? Do I have to call on some special allies or some special powers? How do I do that as a human being? And I think there may be an experience just for you. So I don't want to get into the arrogance of having the answer for you, because that's not wise, and that wouldn't be fair. But I can tell you from my own sessions at Sunrise that when I set out to meet life and be where other people are, and to move my listening into a way that I can see differently than what I expect, and bear witness to what's there, what I can do is cultivate an internal silence. And you don't need the outer dimensions to do this. You don't need a certain thing, a setup, a set of conditions, circumstances. I mean, sure, those would be nice. But trying to meditate in a busy restaurant is not going to help. So sure, you can be there for yourself and create a space. But just the intention, setting an aim, making up your mind that in the morning you're going to take that 5 minutes, you're going to take that 10 minutes for yourself, and slow down and take a visit with what's important, what matters. Maybe take a visit with what happened yesterday, What inspired you? What touched you, moved you? Take a visit with the sensations in your physical body. Tap into your feelings. Just observe, observe, observe. And maybe a larger sense of yourself, such as what really stands in need of you, what's currently emerging. At least tap into that question, because that might be something essential. A sense of purpose, a true sense of service to something. And then there's sort of this decision, right? There's this choice to say, I will let go of things having to be a certain way. And I forfeit that. I forsake that. And I will work with and operate from, I'll root in my curiosity and my wonder. And I think that's a choice. You make up your mind about that. You enter from there. You start with a blank slate. That quality of not filling the space, of just walking in a sort of emptiness so that something can be filled, requires some effort, conscious effort, to not necessarily kick out, but to actually, in a way, almost counterintuitively, welcome whatever is true. Because the wisdom in this is that whatever you make space for can move. Your thoughts, your emotions, your circumstances. And in the moments that we actually make room for them, and we hold ourselves, we abide by, we learn to stay with the current reality, just as it is, without needing to aggress on it or ignore it or fix it or manipulate it or try to work with it, comply with it, just simply treating it as a teacher. That everything that I experience is my teacher. So today, as you enter from here, take a few moments, take that 5 minutes, maybe close your eyes, take some deep breaths. And realize that whatever happiness there is that's unintegrated doesn't need to be forced. It's held already in you. It's in the awareness that you have for what's quelling, what's trending in your life. And to intend the choice to be present from this one morning. And then as you go through the day, take 1 minute every hour to remember this. Take 5 minutes at the end of the day to have a visit with yourself. And then maybe take 5 minutes tonight and jot down a couple of thoughts and reflections. And tomorrow morning, 5 minutes, 1 minute every hour, and 5 minutes at the end of the day, and 5 minutes before you go to sleep. And I'll bet that that invitation that I'm giving you to pay a visit to what matters to you, to what your inner life is saying, to your intuition, to your inner voice, to hear the way the world is, the nature of the way the world is going around you, the context, what it calls you to do, that tapping in is going to deepen meaning, a sense of service, and strengthen your courage to live forward into the mystery. So I wish you a courageous day, a day of connection, a day of holding yourself into what I just said. Thank you.